Hi guys, I'm wanting to encourage you today with honoring your process. I got that phrase from a reminder on my Time Hop app, which is an application on my phone that will bring up um, posts that I have put on Instagram or Facebook in the past. And this morning it brought up a post from a year ago today where I had put a picture of a plant growing in its different stages and had written the words honor the process on the picture. And so I want to encourage you with that today because it still encouraged me today, even a year later. I don't know what specifically was going on with me at the time, but I know I had said something to the Lord to the effect of, God, I feel like I should be further along in my walk with you. I don't know what was going on, but I was feeling pretty down on myself about something. And the Lord had said right back in my heart, Jeanette, honor your process. Because the reality is God is a good God, and He chooses out of His kindness to see us with our end in mind. He doesn't see us really for where we're at. And it's not that God's naive or He's being foolish or dumb or blind and not wanting to see things as they are. It's, He's outside of time. He is the beginning, He is the end, and He knows our end. He sees us in our full glory of how we will operate and function as citizens in heaven. And so when He interacts with us and when He sees us in that glorified, complete, whole state. And so He knows who we are. He made us. He knows us. And so He's not deterred or frustrated or feeling impatient at all about where we are in our process, because He is happy. It is His joy to link arms with us and walk with us. Not only is God the beginning and the end, but He is all in the middle, in every moment, every breath of our life, walking with us, wanting to relate with us, and perfecting our faith. In Hebrews 12:1-2, it says, let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. And I love that phrase, pioneer and perfecter. He is the one who started it. He is the one who will perfect it. And He is the one who is faithful to walk us through. And if you think about different people in the Bible, they weren't any different. The only difference is we see the whole story, and so we can see their end. And so we look at them and we're like, yeah, that moment was not their finest or whatever, but look at what God accomplished through them. Look at how they altered the very fabric of things that were happening in their time, based on their obedience and their willingness to say yes to God in a moment of great peril or great fear, in their own life. But we have to remember that when they were going through it and when they were in that moment of deciding, am I going to say yes to God here, they didn't know the end, and they probably felt very overwhelmed, and they needed somebody to whisper in their ear, hey, honor your process. I think of Gideon and how he was hiding out trying to make bread in a wine press because he was terrified of the Philistines, and God comes to him and calls him mighty warrior. In that moment, there is no way he felt like a mighty warrior, but God saw. He knew what Gideon was. He knew how He had made Gideon, and He just called that up and out of him. He just called forth that which He had already put in Gideon and said, Gideon, you're a mighty warrior, and you're about to see it yourself. Will you trust me? And thankfully, Gideon said yes to God, and he went on to do great exploits. I think about Moses, and he was incredibly feeling like he was disqualified and not the right person for the job. God's calling him to be a deliverer and take His people out of years and years and years of slavery and bring them into freedom, and totally changing their whole world and their dynamic that they've known for generations after generation after generation. Huge deal. And he's saying, I stutter, I'm not a good speaker, you know, do you remember that I murdered that guy? But God was saying, you know what, Moses, I see you and I know what you are capable of, and we're going to do this if you will trust me. I will move mightily through you. And I just feel like that would be what God would want to say to you today. You know, honor your process. I don't know where you're at with things, and, you know, even as we look at people in the Bible, it wasn't always their starts that God was speaking to them. Even Elijah was hiding out in a cave, whining and wanting to die. And this was after he prayed and called down fire from heaven and burnt up the whole altar on God's behalf. I mean, it's an amazing story of God's power that happened through Elijah praying for that to happen. And yet, he's then off in a cave crying and scared. So, you know, there's many times throughout our walk where God is going to need to encourage us. And we're going to face things that just feel like they're way too big. And we're going to think, I am not the one for this job, Lord. I am completely not ready. And God's going to say, you don't know what you're capable of. I do. And so trust me and honor your process, and don't get frustrated when you're looking around and you're seeing what's happening with other people. Or even, I mean, for me, a lot of times it's actually reading the Bible, and I'm just saying, oh, I want to be like Jesus. I want to be doing the things that Jesus did, because I know he didn't come down here to show off. He came down here to say, look, what I'm doing, you can do. And a lot of the times that it seems like he's frustrated at the disciples is really not frustration at them. It's more like, hey guys, I've already showed you how to do this. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Just believe. And so 2 Corinthians 3, verse 18 says, as the Spirit of the Lord works within us, we become more and more like him. So again, it's process. We're becoming more and more like him. So we just have to trust that we're growing, and he is doing great things in us and through us. And the process is just as important as the moments where we feel success. So today and tomorrow and weeks to come, I want you to celebrate your successes and celebrate your failures, because it's all part of your process. It's all part of your journey, and God celebrates all of it with you. So honor your process today. Amen? Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye.